No.
Imena boys call me this rois, Arba Yisidis Roim Shabbat. So, the Nefesh HaBahamith, the Salveshas B'dam HaAdam, that's just the natural chayus. The person feels himself, he's alive. That's the Nefesh HaBahamith. That's the Nefesh, the first Nefesh. Nefesh Achas Mitzad HaKlipa V'Sitra Achra. It's a Nefesh where you feel you're alive, but it's Klipa V'Sitra Achra because you don't sense that it's Elokus. You just feel you're alive. I feel that I'm me, just like a behema. That a behema is not evil. A behema just feels itself and it feels a need to take care of its own wants. And that's all the Arba Avis Nizikin, that a behema does gores, it does all the things that it does. It's data, it's mashachi, regular, sheva, chamer, it's all, it just feels, it's into itself. That's the Nefesh HaBahamith. And therefore, you have certain aspects of what we call the Yetzer Hara that we're drawn to do something that we're not supposed to do, not because we're looking for bad, but because of this nature of the Nefesh Mitzad HaKlipa V'Sitra Achra, that we care about ourselves. And because of caring about ourselves, so like we'll see, we have all these negative traits, not because of the bad. I mean, there's a story with the Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov was once traveling, and the Baal Shem Tov had a Goyish Balagola, his name was Alexei. And the Baal Shem Tov, in the middle of traveling, he told the Talmidim, they came to one point, he told the Talmidim, everyone should daven and do tshuva, because Alexei, the wagon driver, wants to kill us all. And they were shocked. Alexei was the wagon driver of the Baal Shem Tov for many years, and he was very loyal. The Baal Shem Tov told him again, be Mahara B'tshuva and daven. So they did. And when they drove a little further, so the Baal Shem Tov said to the wagon driver, tell me, what were you thinking when we went by that place? So he fell to the Baal Shem Tov's feet. He said, I'll tell you the truth. I wanted to kill everyone. Everyone of the wagon. So the Baal Shem Tov said, you know that I know everything and I know your thoughts. How could you think to do such a thing? And he cried to the Baal Shem Tov. He said, I don't know why. I don't know what came into me. It was like a ruach tumah. Please forgive me. So the Baal Shem Tov told the Talmidim that many years ago in that place, many Yidden were killed, Rahman al-Islam. And because of that, there was a ruach tumah. And that ruach tumah chapped on the Alexei that he wanted to kill them. That means there's such a thing that's a Yetzer Hara that pulls a person to bad because it's bad. Like over there, it's a Ruach Tumah pulled to Ritzicha because it was a negative Ruach Tumah. But then here we're talking about the Midas Reis, not because of bad, it's because I want to be myself. Person naturally, I care about my gaiva, all these things that we're going to say. That's the Midas Reis, Shebeteva Kol Yisrael Till Desa. Everything is made up before you say this. That's its nature. And these before you say this lead to the bad, negative midas. Kas v'gaiva miseita eish nigbel l'mayla. Eish is nigbel l'mayla, and therefore the nature of eish causes a person also to feel gaiva and to feel kas. Because kas, why do I get angry also? Because someone shepherded me. Because I feel myself, because of my nigbel l'mayla, that causes kas. Again, it's not that I'm looking to do something bad, but it's I have my nature. My nature is that I care about myself. I'm arrogant about myself. These are the Arba Yisedis Rab of the natural nefesh that brings natural negative midas. V'taivas hatanugim Yised hamayim. Taivas hatanugim comes from the Yised hamayim in this nefesh. Ki hamayim atzmichim kol mini tainov. The enjoyableness that's there, the pleasure and fruits and things that grow comes from the water. Water is keach hatainik, like you learn also in Asam Nafshenu B'Chaim. V'heilulus v'litzamos v'sparus v'dvar b'teilim yisei the ruach. All these things, heilulus v'litzamos, this thriftiness, hisparus is halten sich grace, as opposed to gaiva. Gaiva is someone who has milas and he's proud of his milas. And Hisparus is someone haltzich grace, being garnished. He just holds himself bigger over someone else. Evet kiyim, like we say sometimes. So that comes in Miseid Haruach. Udvarim B'Telin is also empty words. What's he doing? Just this all comes to me, say the Ruach. Again, not the person is looking to do something bad, but he has the nature of this nefesh, doesn't feel a likus. It just has a nature to go for emptiness. I heard, when I was a young bacher, so they said a story, a person once came to a gathering. And while he's by the gathering, came in a person, a man who was a hunchback, ugly, short, hunchback. And when he came in, everyone stood up for him and everyone showed him a lot of respect. So this guest asked, who's this person? Is he a big Talmid Chacham, a brilliant man? He said, no, he's a simple person. He said, is he very wealthy maybe? He says, no, he's poor. Is he very kind? He says, no, he's plain, doesn't help out other people. Doesn't seem to have any special qualities. So he says, so why is everyone giving him so much respect? That's the thing. He said, because he's very humble. What's the pshat? He doesn't have anything to halten sich grace. But nevertheless, there's a person that's halten sich grace of garnish, that's a sparus. There's gaiva that to halten sich grace for your milas, that's still a negative midah, and there's a sparus. Va'atzvus, mi say the offer. You say the offer is that it's heavy. Atzvus, va'atzvus are both the heaviness, that a person just can't get the momentum to do what he's supposed to do. Atzvus makes it even stronger that he's depressed, he's immobile, can't get out of his rut. This comes from the Yisei Offer. It's a nature of Yisei Offer that causes the Nefesh Abamis to have the Atzvus v'Atzvus. These are all the negative midas that come from the nature of the Nefesh Achas Mitzad HaKlipa V'Sitra. It says also, Atzvus v'Atzvus Misei Offer, not just because of the nature, characteristics of Offer, that Offer is heavy, but in the four Yiseidus of everything, the main Yiseid is Yisei Offer. Yiseidus, it brings down that when you burn wood, so the Eish, Mayim, Ruach, evaporate, go out into other things. And where it stays is the Efer, which comes from the Offer, because that's the main Yiseid. The main Yiseid of all things is the Offer, that's its substance, that's its Chayim. The other three Yiseidus give us its Surah. Same thing in the negative midas. What are the primary negative midas that lead to all the problems? Is Atzvus v'Atzvus. The famous word that Atzvus brings to all the bad things. That's the Yisei Offer, because that's the essence, that's the foundation of all negative midas. A person could have other midas, he can work with them. Atzvus, someone who's lazy, or Atzvus, which brings to being immobile, that causes, that hampers any progress in anything else. But this also is the key to the solution. People always come and say, Bacher, I'm in delight. What should I do? I'm lazy. I understand everything, right? I know what the mashpia is, what the Siddur expects. I know what I'm supposed to do, but I'm lazy. Like, what's the solution? What's the eitzah for laziness? So the answer is, says the Alter Rebbe, you're not lazy. You have two nefashas. The nefesh habahamis, the nefesh achas mitzad haklipa v'sitra achra. Part of its nature is that it has this atzlos. It's lazy. It's lazy. It's inert. It doesn't have the energy to want to work. But that's the nefesh. There's the nefesh halakis and the nefesh habahamis. So who's the one who's making the decisions? It says in Chassidus, it says in Renat, maybe you guys learned it this year. It says there's really three nefashas. There's nefesh halakis, a nefesh habahamis, and there's a nefesh hasichlis. The nefesh hasichlis is the intermediary, is the mediation. How does the nefesh halakis and the nefesh habahamis communicate? Who's listening to the two sides and making a decision between them is the nefesh hasichlis. Nefesh hasichlis is the way I rationalize and I hear and I understand what the nefesh habahamis is, and I understand what the nefesh halakis is. The nefesh hasichlis, that means all that laziness, there's a part of me that has the nature of laziness. And there's a part of me that's ava kadish v'yesh, that has an attachment, that has a yearning for the Eibishter. And I'm able to make that decision, to recognize it. I notice the nefesh achienis, that gives the chayus, that's machaya guf, brings to me the laziness. But I could choose to overcome that. There's me, I'm the third party, I'm the nefesh hasichlis. And I could choose to enable and to empower the Nefesh Elokis to use its yearning, its thirst for Elokos to overpower the laziness that's there from the Nefesh Abahamis, just like everything in Avodas Hashem. So that teva from the Nefesh Abahamis is really there, but that's not all of me. That's not all that I'm about. So when a guy comes and says, I'm lazy, what should I do if I'm lazy? Nefesh Achienis is lazy. There's that teva of atzlos va'atzvos, miseda offer, and we have the antidote to that. I have to be the mediator and understand it, recognize it, and address it. V'gam midis tevis shebeteva kol Yisrael b'til deisam k'mei rachmanos u'gmilas chasadim bois mimena. Yidden have certain natural good midas that also comes from the nefesh achienis. The nefesh, this nefesh ativis, this nefesh achas mitzad aklipa v'sitracher is not bad, like we said. It's chayis, it's natural. All these negative midas is not because it's looking to be bad. It's looking to be itself. This is its nature. I want to be have gaiva and taivas atanugim and hilus with course. That's my nature. In the same way, a yid has a nature for certain good things, not because of the Eibishter. You have a nature for rachmanos and gemilas chasadim. You have when you're driving in the summer, you drive to the country. I had it once, and your car breaks down. So suddenly there's 10 cars that stop to help you out. And lahavdil, there's many goyim that they know. They have a yarmulke in their glove compartment in case they break down. They put on the yarmulke so they get automatic. This is not something that the person who stopped had to be mizbeinin. The nefesh elokis, of course, has rachmanos and gemilas chasadim and every good thing. But in order to be married the nefesh elokis, we need hizbeininus. We need that's not our nature. That doesn't come automatically. That's something that we have to make that decision, to use the nefesh hasichos and use our rationalization to get empowered from the nefesh elokis. But then there's the midas tevis that come out of it. We don't have to. The person ayid has a gishmak in doing good, just like we have a gishmak in the other things, with the dvarim b'telim and the hilus, with sonos, with spurs, and everything else. But we have a natural inclination to these. Why do we have a natural inclination? Because that's part of being me. That's part of, just like part of being me is the gaiva and the taivas atanugim and the hilus. It's also the rachmanos and gemilas chasadim. Kibi Yisrael. And the Rabbi says, why doesn't it say by shanim? We know that Yidden are rachmanim, by shanim and gimel chasadim. That means that's what they are by nature. That's me. That's part of me being me, not because of my izbeininus. A Yid could be running and going to do not good things. But in the middle he sees another Yid in trouble and he runs to help him. He's not running to do mitzvahs. But naturally he feels rachmanas on another Yid, or he wants to do kindness, he does the gemilas chasadim. Why doesn't it say by shanim? The Rabbi tells us that the Rishimis and Tanya, Yidden are also by shanim. He says because by shanim is not natural from the nefesh abahamis. By shanim is because Matan Torah brought into Yidden as shyness, shame. Panim says the Alter Rebbe, how could it be that it's the nefesh from klipa v'sitra achra and it gives us good midas? Ki b'Yisrael nefesh zu de klipa hi mi klipas nega. By Yidden the klipa is in klipas. There's klipas that are shalosh klipas atmeis that are ra, that doesn't have the capacity for good, and there's klipas nega. Klipas nega is like we said, it's klipa v'sitra achra val sefil sich nicht elikus. But it could be good or it could be bad. You don't feel the elikus, and therefore you have your own nature, but it could be a positive nature or a negative nature. It's not rachmanos or gemilas chasadim because you know that's what the Eibishter wants. That's not shayach by klipa. It's filnish elikus. But nevertheless, it's not limited to things that are against what the Eibishter wants. It could have a natural enjoyment in something that's good because that's its nature. That's what's called eitz hadas. That's tarufis. It has both good and bad. Both of them are just nature, not bad for the sake of bad, not good for the sake of good, just being itself and following its instincts. Okay, we'll finish it tomorrow.